Hey guys, Katie from the K Show blog here, and today we're talking all about how to book your next trip as fast as possible. I'm sharing all the tips I use to get mine done really fast, all my processes. So if you ever get overwhelmed with booking travel or get a bit of that analysis paralysis when you're trying to book the flights and book the hotels and make everything match up, this one's for you. And first up, I should say this is based on the assumption that you already have the destination in mind. So you know where you want to go, now you just have to put it all together. So like I said, these tips are my processes and how I usually do it because I'm always booking travel at the last minute, whether it's my schedule, my husband's schedule. We don't usually get a lot of notice when we can go away. So it's always that last minute booking, usually like a week out or sometimes the day of. So this is just how I do it and how I have the idea planted and get it done really fast, but still get it done effectively so it's a good trip. And if that makes you a little nervous, just stay tuned to the end because my last tip is my quality control measure to make sure everything's done properly. But for now, let's get into it. So number one, you have to figure out what type of trip you actually want to take. And when you have an idea of what you actually want, it makes the booking process so much easier because it automatically gets rid of everything you don't want. It simplifies everything, right? It's less overwhelming because you have a direction of what you're actually doing. So it's really important to actually know what you want out of the trip. And it doesn't have to be the same all the time. Like for me, it's different each trip, each place. Like some things I want one thing and then other trips I want a completely opposite experience, right? So there's not like a right or wrong answer, but you have to know yourself and what you want. Some things you could ask yourself are like, do you want a luxury experience on this trip? Or do you want it to be more budget style? Do you want it to be action-packed, on the go, always having things to do? Or do you just want it to be a bit more cruisy and relaxing? Do you want a touristy experience? Or do you want it to be more local? Things like that. Asking yourself what style of trip you want and what you want to get out of it. So you need to understand that with yourself, but also if you're not a solo traveler, you're traveling with other people, you need to have that conversation so you're all on the same page and then you can all get what you want out of that trip. And it's also going to save you so much stress and anxiety in the booking process because you've got a clear direction of what you're trying to book. Number two, figure out the most impactful thing and start with that. So for me, it's whether I can get my dog in a kennel or not. That's going to dictate the whole rest of the trip. It's the most impactful thing for me because for me it dictates like what hotels I can stay in, because if I can't get her into a kennel and I'm then traveling with her, I need a pet-friendly hotel. It dictates the things I can do on the trip because they need to be things that she can come with me. It dictates the transportation, how I'm going to get around. So for me, this is the biggest thing that I need to focus on first. For you, it might be something different. My first call is to the dog kennel. For you, it could be something else. It could be very strict leave dates off work. It could be you want a specific hotel or you're going there for a specific event. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's probably going to be different for everyone, but figure out that most impactful thing of the trip and work backwards from there. So number three, it's time to start booking. It's multiple tab time. So usually once I've figured out the dog kennel situation, I'm doing everything in one big hit. And this is the most important parts that you need to make a trip happen. You really only need a few things to put a trip together. And so we're going to focus on those and not stress about the little things. The main things you need are flights or some sort of transport to that destination, accommodation, and a rental car or whatever transport to get from the airport to your hotel. That's the only thing we need to cover right now. You can figure out where to eat later. It's less important. You can do it even at the destination. We're just going to figure out these big, like the logistics part of it and go from there. For flights, so sometimes I have like a specific favorite airline that I like to use or a specific deal with my credit card to get points or get free flights. So if I'm not doing those things, first thing I would do is search Google Flights and say like flights from where I am to wherever I want to go. That's my first Google search, first tab, and it gives you a list of what airlines operate for that route. It gives you the duration and it gives you also the price. So you get like a quick grab just without clicking into it, just on that Google search result, a quick grab of like some really important details. And from that quick glance, I can see which one matches. Like one of them you know, the duration might be like a 25-hour transit time. The other one might be shorter layovers and a 13. So, you know, I'm going to choose whichever one fits best, also price. And then from there, I'm going to go to that airline's website direct and search those dates again on their website. Make sure it comes up. I don't really use Skyscanner or websites like that personally, because what I found when I've been searching is usually they end up taking like 3 times as long for the same journey, and I just value my time so much higher than the discounts I give, which haven't even been that like noticeable when I've been searching. So I haven't really used those. I usually go straight through the airline directly or through my credit card points system. But maybe that could be another option worth another Google search if you want to check out what's available. So now that I have that search done in the airline's website, I don't book anything. I've just got the search to make sure they have like flights on the days that I want, and I'm getting an idea of price to match it with my budget. Next tab I open is booking.com, and this is what I use to book pretty much all my accommodation when I travel. It's always my first go-to, and I can just always find a good deal there. If you want to use it too, I also recommend having that free loyalty account, which is their Genius programs, and it opens up even more discounts and more perks. Like I've had discounts from them, like up to 15% off a hotel room, and also some pretty cool upgrades. So I think it's really worth having. So I'm a pretty frequent user of booking.com, but I'm also affiliate with them. So I will leave the link in the description below. It's an affiliate link. If you'd like to support my channel, support my work, if I've given you any value, I would really appreciate it if you would click that link before you make your next booking, and I get a little cut from it, and it helps me keep this stuff going. So like I said, this next tab is the booking.com tab, and I've searched the place for the dates I need, and I see what comes up. And to make it a little more efficient, I filter the search with like whatever's important for that trip. So if I am taking the dog, I'll have the pet friendly option filter come up so that I'm only seeing the ones that are relevant to me because they're the only pet friendly ones. Or, you know, maybe it's a location or a price or whatever filter I need. I definitely recommend filtering it out just to get rid of everything you don't need to even see, and then it's going to make the booking process a little bit faster. Then lastly, I sort the list with the Genius discounts on top, so I can just get extra perks, you know. So if there is like an extra 15% off or a free room upgrade, I don't want to be missing the opportunity to see that, so I do the Genius ones on the top as well. So then I'm just scrolling through to see kind of what catches my eye. Part of this is a little bit intuitive. Something in the name might catch my eye, something in the first photo. Something will catch me and I will want to get more information about it, so I'll just click it. When you click the hotel, it opens that hotel up in a new tab. So you still have your main search, you don't lose that search, you know. So then in that new tab, I'm really just checking, does it have the amenities I need? Like if we're driving there on a road trip, I'm probably gonna need free parking. So I'm gonna be looking at those things. Does it have the amenities? I check the reviews. I pretty much with the reviews, I'm just getting like an overall sense. Is it overall good or overall bad? That 1 out of 100 that whinges about like too much noise or something like that, I'm not too worried about those. But if most of them were bad and whinging about something or safety or whatever, then I'm gonna pay attention. But it's really, I'm looking for a majority view, overall good or overall bad. And the last thing I look at is where is it located on the map? And they have like a map view where you can see where it is. Is it, for example, if I'm not renting a car, I'm visiting a big city, is it like kind of a walking distance to the things I want to see, or is it close to public transport, something like that. If it's around a lot of like kebab places and strip joints and I'm traveling by myself, it's probably not a nice area that I want to be staying in and having to walk by myself to and from, so I might want a nicer part of town. Things like that. But that's really the 3 things I look at, because I would have already seen the price, which is a big factor obviously. So then I'm just looking at reviews, amenities, and where it is on the map. And I actually have a full blog post on my website. I'll chuck this one in the description below as well. Reminder to future self, add that. But it has my whole process on like what I'm looking for when I'm booking a hotel and how I do it. So that might be helpful for you as well. So if that hotel doesn't seem like somewhere I want to stay, pretty simple, just close that tab, go back to the main search, and keep repeating that process until I find somewhere. And once I do, I don't book. We've got one more tab. Last tab is the transport to and from the airport. So if I'm renting a car, you want to check that a car is going to be available, and I usually just go I usually go with Avis or Enterprise, and I've always been able to find a car with one of those two. But yeah, if it's a rental car, I'll search that. Or if not, if I'm staying in a big city, you're usually pretty guaranteed that there's going to be good public transport to get, you know, from the airport to wherever your hotel is. So I'll just be double checking that. And if I'm staying a little bit, you know, maybe out of a city or somewhere where I need to figure it out, I just do a quick Google on how to get, you know, from the airport to wherever that hotel is. And sometimes that means booking a driver. Sometimes I can do that through the hotel, or booking an Uber, something like that. Like, they're all different. All the places are different. So it's not like one way, but that's the last thing I'm trying to figure out is how do I make sure I can get from the airport to the hotel, because the rest is pretty easy to figure out. Those are my main three things. And the whole time I also have a scribble pad next to me, so I'm like writing things down so that I am writing things down as I go through them, so I don't have to go back over when, you know, my dense brain forgets what I've done. So if, for example, I search American Airlines first and they have no flights or it's too expensive, I would have that scribbled down, American Airlines, like, too expensive, or crossed out or something like that. So when I forget and then go back to the search, I'm not like doing the same thing over just because I've forgotten. And I've separated it so it'd be easier to explain, but like I'm doing this all at the same time, just going back between all these tabs. So it's a pretty fast process. Number 4 is just do it. At some point, you have to stop thinking and take some action. It's the only way you're going to get anything done. And if something is holding you back, I think it's important to try and, for your own personal growth, like figure out what that is that's holding you back. Usually it's like the fear of making the wrong decision, or your fear of just not getting it all right. And if you're doing this for a family, it might be like the fear of sort of letting them down. But just remind yourself, you know, if it's with the family, like at the end of the day, they're gonna remember the awesome time they have with you on vacation, not if the Wi-Fi was slow, you know, or if they had to walk, you know, 10 meters extra or something to get to the parking or something like that. You know what I mean? They're gonna remember the time with you. That's the most important. So it's gonna be okay. And as long as you've taken care of those big logistical factors to get you from A to B, like the little things don't matter so much. Like you're probably gonna have a great time, because if you're traveling somewhere, you're not at work, you don't have to clean your house, you don't have to cook your food, you're able to explore, you guys are gonna have a fun trip, you know? So give yourself that reassurance, and as long as you're following these steps and checking everything, it's time to take action. Number 5 is my spreadsheet. Now this is my quality control measure, because you are booking things a little bit faster, so it can be easy for something to fall through the cracks, but this is going to make sure everything's done accurately. And I usually do this straight away after all the bookings are confirmed, because then you're within that window where if you need to make a change, you can usually make it very easily and without any penalties. So do it straight away. And I keep it pretty simple. I'll just have a Word document or Excel document, and I keep it simple with just the dates, the company, what it is, like for example flight to wherever, and then the booking confirmations. That's it. It's pretty simple. So when I'm entering it into the spreadsheet, I'm not doing it from my head, because that's not going to pick up any mistakes if I have accidentally entered the wrong date or something like that. So what I do is go back to that email confirmation they send and get the information directly from that. So I have a visual check to see if that date, you know, and what I booked is actually accurate. And that's just a little way I can double check everything has been done right, and it's going to be a seamless, stress-free vacation. I also like to have this spreadsheet because it just keeps all the important information for the trip in one place. And now I don't know if you've ever been at the airport and seen the people, maybe you've been one of these people, I certainly have, where they have like so many printouts, and the person at the desk is asking them for something, and they've got to flip through so many printouts, or they're scrolling through their phone trying to find whatever information, like a booking number or whatever it is that they need to, you know, do whatever they're trying to do. I've definitely done that before, and this spreadsheet just has all the important stuff just on the one thing, you know, and I can keep it on my phone and check that, or I have a printout sometimes and I can just reference that, but it's only one place you have to check instead of sorting through a lot of paper. So this has been really helpful for me in making the travel days just a little more stress-free. So I really hope this has been able to help you plan your next trip, maybe give you a little more confidence with the planning, or just at least make it a little less stressful because it can be a little overwhelming at first. If you liked the video or got something out of it, please hit the thumbs up button, tell YouTube you liked the video and that it's worth showing to other people. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more travel content. And other than that, I will see you next time. Bye!